All right, welcome everybody. My name is Zed Gori. I'm the Director of Special International Programs and Study Abroad. It's great to see so many students interested in scholarships to study abroad, especially the Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship. We're going to go fairly quickly through the presentation today, ask you a few questions, and we'll have time for Q&A at the end of the session. So starting off real quick, this is our agenda. We have the Gilman Scholarship presentation. We have 20 minutes for an scholarship essay workshop. So those of you who are seriously considering applying for the scholarship, we have Mr. John Chu here from Skyline College's Learning Center, who will go over the scholarship essay workshop. And then we have it open to Q&A. Again, this is me, Zed Gori. I'm your key presenter here. I have served as a Gilman Scholarship advisor and reviewer for almost 11 years now, and I have reviewed hundreds of students' applications, not our students, but other students from around the country. And I can tell you the scholarship has evolved over the years. It has become more selective than compared to the past. But SMCCD, we have a pretty good acceptance rate for students who submit their essays really well reviewed in advance, not at the last minute submission. So we'll go into all those details in a bit. I did want to introduce you to our team here at SMCCD Study Abroad. We are housed at Skyline College, but this is a district-wide study abroad program, and I have Mr. Gerardo Brambilla. He's our program services coordinator. That's him waving there. If you're a student, he is your first contact for everything and anything study abroad. So welcome, Gerardo. And next we have our amazing study abroad student ambassadors, all here, Win, Philip, Jennifer, and Zway. They've all been very, very helpful in promoting our programs to students. Jennifer and Philip are actually Gilman Scholarship alumni, so they have both received the scholarship. And Philip holds a special recognition, and he's a two-time Gilman Scholarship recipient. So we're very proud of our student ambassadors. And one of the projects that they are working on this semester is to increase our social media following on Instagram. So for all of you who are grammars or Instagrammers, please follow us on Instagram. Our goal is to hit 2,000 followers by the end of the semester. And you can see there we are at 1,107 followers. So follow us on Instagram. We provide all promotions for all our programs, the Gilman Scholarship, other scholarships. All students find out about it through Instagram. So we'll be dropping that in the chat for all of you to follow. And then Mr. John Chu will be giving the application workshop right after this key presentation. So I also wanted to recognize him, that he is one of our presenters today and has been doing this for 3 years now, helping us out. And we're really grateful to John's support in advising students on the Gilman Scholarship application. So what are the benefits of studying abroad? Studying abroad enables American students to gain proficiency in diverse languages and cultures and skills that are critically important to your academic and career development. That's one of the key things of the Gilman Scholarship is they're really trying to tie study abroad to your future career. A lot of students do not think, "Oh, how will my study abroad tie to a career?" We have one of our alumni who, in her first job interview, the moment she mentioned she had studied abroad, her interview became about the study abroad experience. And she got the job. Today, she is a vice president of operations. So this is 10 years ago. So now she has really moved up, but it really showcases, how far a study abroad experience can take you. This is one of our alumni from Cañada College, Mitzi, last year, who received the scholarship. The Gilman program's impact at SMCCD, you can all see here. 2-year HSI and a PC public institutions, 20,000 students, 80% students of color. Over 50% of our students have received the Gilman Scholarship and been selected. Skyline College was the top producing 2-year institution in the country in 2021-22. These are the programs. If you are thinking of how can I apply and use this funding to study abroad, these are the programs that are eligible for the Gilman Scholarship. We have our spring program in Florence, Italy. It sounds far away, but you can use this funding. Fall 2026 London. If you apply for the Gilman Scholarship, you can use that for the London program, and our summer faculty-led short-term programs. We have a program to Peru, Kyoto, Japan, and South Africa in summer 2026. We also have global internships. For those of you who are completed majority of your coursework at community college and you're looking to transfer or get into the workforce, we have global internships for students in Accra, Ghana, Barcelona, Spain, Dublin, Ireland, Milan, Italy, and Paris, France. So lots of options for you to think of how you can apply and use the study abroad funding that you receive from the Gilman Scholarship. So these are our semester programs. If Professor Candice is on here, if she wants to speak a little about London, you have 1 minute to give a quick pitch to any students who are interested in London. Thank you. Okay. All right, we'll come back to her on this one. But the London Semester Abroad program is eligible for Gilman. The program fee for London is about $10,000. If you receive up to $5,000 from Gilman, you can use that funding to support your London program. Your financial aid, if you're receiving the Pell Grant, that will also go towards your program in London. Candice, do you want to say a few words about London?
It's the best place on earth, and it's such a fascinating place to be in Europe, and you're guaranteed to have a great time. So I invite everybody to consider applying.
Great. And then we have our upcoming summer programs. We have Japan Ethnographic Film or Interaction Design, June 12th to June 27th. I see some of our faculty here from Japan. Hyla, if you want to say a few words about Japan.
Sure thing. So, just so you know, you're going to have two professors. There are two different classes. You can take one or both. There is ethnographic film being taught by Professor Jessica Marshall and interaction design taught by myself. Professor Marshall has done study abroad numerous times over the years to many different places. I ran a multinational business that was Japanese and US for over 20 years, so I've been back and forth to Japan numerous times. So you will not only get the benefit of the classes that you're taking, but you'll get the benefit of lots of insider knowledge about how to navigate Japan. So we would love to have you there.
Great, thank you. The next one we have up is Peru, Environmental Science. I think I saw Professor Mahoney on.
Yes, I am here. Yes, I'm very excited about this program. This program's been a couple of years in the works now. It's an opportunity to take a science class in your study abroad. So get that science GE out of the way on a study abroad trip. We will be studying environmental science, so how humans interact with their environment, and we'll be also studying things obviously related to Peru in terms of air pollution or water resources, climate change, ecotourism, and much more. So we'll spend some time in Lima, we'll spend some time in the Andes, including Machu Picchu and Cusco, and then we'll settle in a coastal town in northern Peru where we'll actually get to do some hands-on projects related to sustainability with local community members. So it's going to be a good time. I encourage you to apply.
Great, thank you. And as Professor Mahoney mentioned, this is a science course, and in particular, the Gilman Scholarship. It says up to $5,000. Plus, if you are taking a STEM course, such as this one, you can apply with another essay for the science component and get up to $1,000 more on top of the current funding that they have. So that's extra for taking a STEM class. So those of you who are interested in Peru, there is additional funding on top of the current funding that Gilman offers. South Africa. All right, do I have Professor Gaines or Professor Powell on? They want to say a few words. There's a lot of people in the Zoom, so I have to go down the link. If they're not here, I can say a few words about South Africa. It's offering intercultural communication or African American history and culture. The dates are June 12th to June 28th. Both faculty have done a site inspection visit to South Africa. This is a tailored program for students. It's 2 weeks abroad. It's going to be very exciting. I believe they're going to 3 cities, starting in Johannesburg, South Africa, to Cape Town, and then Durban, South Africa. And Professor Powell has led this program twice in the past years, pre-pandemic. So this will be the first time post-pandemic she's taking students to South Africa. Again, another great option for your summer study abroad. And then we have global internships that I mentioned. These are the 4 cities that will be offering global internships in Accra, Barcelona, Dublin, Milan, and Paris. A variety of fields are available. These are unpaid internships. So applying for a Gilman Scholarship really helps in offsetting the travel costs and living abroad while you're doing your internship. And the internships are 8 weeks in length. For the 4 cities here, Barcelona, Dublin, Milan, and Paris, there are 8 weeks. And the Accra, Ghana internship is 3 weeks in country. You can also use your Gilman Scholarship to transfer abroad to the Wren School of Business. Because it is a year program, the Gilman Scholarship is offered for programs that are 1 year in length. And we've had some students in our past who have transferred, received their Associates of Business and transfer, and then gone to Wren School of Business to complete their bachelor's degree in 1 year. So in 3 years, they have a bachelor's degree. So 2 years at CSM Cañada or Skyline, and then 1 year at Wren School of Business with the Gilman Scholarship. These are the eligible programs. We encourage you to start your application now. It closes Thursday, March 5th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. Don't wait to the last minute. We have some students who got stuck on the application at the last minute. You all have more than a month. The whole month of February is there to apply for the Gilman Scholarship. So to really take advantage of the time, the early planning for it. These are some of the benefits of Gilman alumni. It's non-competitive eligibility. That is through the US government. You're part of a scholar network of Gilman scholars. They have an alumni ambassador program, seminars and career workshops. We've had students in the past who've applied for grants through Gilman and received them. Lots of networking opportunities for your career and skill development. These are some of our recent Gilman recipients from all 3 colleges in our district. So eligibility. If you received an email from Study Abroad saying that you are eligible to apply to receive up to $5,000, that means you were on the eligible list. So eligibility means you have to be a US citizen or national, current undergraduate student, federal Pell Grant recipient. You should be participating in a credit-bearing program. So all the programs that I mentioned, from the internships to the summer faculty-led programs, those are all credit-bearing programs. You should be studying or interning abroad in a country with an overall travel advisory level of 1 or 2. Don't worry, all the countries that we are sending students to are travel advisory level 1 or 2. And there is no minimum length requirement for your internship or study abroad program. That's it. That's the eligibility for Gilman. And we have a lot of students who are eligible for the Gilman Scholarship this time around. Gilman scholars come from diverse backgrounds. You are encouraged to self-disclose on your application all of these diverse backgrounds that are here, from STEM majors, students with disabilities, LGBTQIA+, your immigration household, community college students. So the Gilman Scholarship receives very few community college student applications. They give out up to 2,000 scholarships every cycle. And the number of community college students that apply are very, very few. So we encourage you to apply. Your application will stand out among all the applications. So let's talk about the application. So the process is a 2-step process. You'll complete the application online. It's a free application. Enter your study abroad information, the program information, 4 essays. You'll add a 5th essay if you're a STEM student and you want to get that additional up to $1,000 for the Peru program, as an example. You attach your unofficial transcripts, and then you select your advisors. The big question that comes up is, who do I select as my study abroad advisor? So in the chat, we will drop the names of your study abroad advisor by campus. So for College of San Mateo, it is Ms. Mansi Devdarmane. You'll see her name in the portal of Gilman for College of San Mateo. For Cañada College, it's Ms. Kathy Kohut. You'll see her name in the same drop-down for study abroad advisors. And for Skyline College, it's Ms. Claire Yosugatsky. You'll see her name in the portal under Skyline College's Gilman application. Financial aid advisor, there'll just be one person on there, and that's usually the director of financial aid. You will just have to select that person for your college. Again, it's a simple application. It does get complicated if you are in the application at the last minute. So do not stay on the application, 2 hours before the deadline is not recommended. I have had many students who've got stuck on the government application because there are thousands of students applying at the same time. These are the 4 essays, and Mr. John Chu will go more into detail about the tips on applying for these. So they want to know your motivation for studying or interning abroad. Why? Why do you want to study abroad or intern abroad? What knowledge and skill development will happen through interning or studying abroad? That's the second essay. Then the third essay is Gilman Scholars as Citizen Diplomats. They want to know, what does it mean to be an American studying abroad? There are more details to that essay as well. And then finally, how will you give back to your community? So have a follow-on service project proposal. And all these essays are 500 words or less. So really succinctly think about these questions and the prompts and answer them. You have the time. You have us as resources to review your essays. So please really take the time to answer all these questions and apply for the Gilman Scholarship. In the chat, since we're now close to the end of my portion of the presentation, and I'm just looking at the time to make sure we stay on time. But this is some of the selection criteria that reviewers look for. What impact will the study abroad program and destination have on your academic and career trajectory? The community impact abroad, and what impact will it have when you return home? How prepared are you academically for study abroad or interning abroad? The diversity of background and experience, your background and your experience. The other two parts, so commitment to proficiency in a critical need language, that part you can skip. That's an additional essay if you were taking a critical need language and you're not. In any of our programs, we're not offering Japanese, Korean, or Urdu, Hindi. Those are not in our programs. However, the fifth one that you see there, commitment to a STEM field, that applies for the Peru Study Abroad program in environmental sciences. So those of you who are looking at Peru, you get to apply for this additional essay to receive an additional up to $1,000 for a STEM field. Some keywords and panelist perspective. Yes, diversity is important for the Gilman Scholarship, family and your life experience. Leadership and empowerment. They want students who are passionate about studying abroad. So really think about how you're answering those questions. Why and how did you select South Africa, or why did you select to study in London? The panelists want to know that. Your community engagement, how you really making a difference in your communities when you come back. And then any volunteer or research or an internship. So if you're doing an internship, it's great. The Gilman Scholarship prioritizes academic internships, and we have quite a few for the summer program. Some tips for writing essays. These are from our students. Have your essay proofread. Read them out loud. work with your advisors, work with your writing center on campus, be creative. Spelling, punctuation, and grammar, yes, it's important, but as a reviewer, it's not taken fully into consideration. What they're really concerned about is there depth in your essay? You know, are your essays meaningful? Um, have you used ChatGPT or anything AI to write your essays? Don't do that. Your essays should really come from you. You can try and use AI to make it look a little nice, but it shouldn't sound like AI. The reviewers know which essays sound like they have been put into AI. Deadlines and timelines. Okay, so the application opened this month, mid-January, and the deadline is March 5th, 2026, 11:59 p.m. Start your applications right away. Application tips. These are from Gilman Scholars. Create a compelling story that ties your past, present, and future to highlight the impact of scholarship will have on you. Start the application early. I think I've said that so many times to all of you, and have confidence that you are worthy. This is from our student applicants who have received the Gilman Scholarship. Think about your community and local schools. How will you promote the Gilman Scholarship when you return? And tell others about it. If you don't apply, you'll never get it. That's, I think, a great tip from a student. This is some resources from one of our program providers, AIFS, in terms of the 5 pillars for funding your study abroad experience: financial aid, scholarships, savings, asking your network for support, and one-off projects. The reason we have this is the Gilman Scholarship cannot cover your entire study abroad program. It happens very rarely that a student would receive the full $5,000. We've had it happen, but it's very, very rare. So that's why you have to look at other resources, a part-time job, that's not mentioned here, asking your network for support. There are other scholarships, study abroad scholarships, the AIFS Ambassador Scholarships for London Fall 2026. And there is the Fund for Education Abroad, which opened last year and closes next week, I believe, February 4th. So very short deadline for this one. If any of you need help with the Fund for Education Abroad, contact our office. We're happy to assist you with your application for this scholarship. It is a lot more competitive than the Gilman Scholarship, but we've had in the past, I would say, about 3 of our students who have received the Fund for Education Abroad. Apply for financial aid. Majority of you on here, if you receive the email, you are already receiving financial aid. So definitely apply for financial aid to know you're eligible for the Gilman Scholarship. All right. In the chat, I want to just survey all the students who are here. How many of you are seriously considering applying for the Gilman Scholarship? So put yes. And if you know of which program you're interested in, put that program. So it would be yes, South Africa. Yes, London. Let's see how many of you are going to apply for the scholarship. Great, I see. Yes, Japan. Okay, Peru. Great. Japan again, Peru, London. All right. See lots of, there's South Africa, great. Yes, Peru, I see a lot of for Peru as well. South Africa, Japan. All right, transfer abroad to France, great. London, Japan, great. Well, this is wonderful. I believe our office will be very busy next month helping you all to submit your applications for the Gilman Scholarship. We will be answering your questions in the chat. I do want to hand it over to Mr. John Chu to go over the application workshop so that you can be more prepared for your essays. So handing it over to John, and then we'll have time for Q&A right after John's session.
Hello, everybody. Do you mind if I share my screen real quick?
Yes, let me give you.
All right. Is everyone able to see the workshop slides? Yes. All right. So I'm going to just quickly go through this for the sake of time to kind of explain to you all what you should be expecting to write with this application process and the essays that you're going to be needing to go through. So the first thing that I want to get into is kind of a brief explanation of the Learning Center and who we are at Skyline College and how you can access our services. So we're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wednesdays and Thursdays we go till 7, and Fridays we go till 2. If you're ever looking for help or support in anything, you're always welcome to come by and get support from us. One of the things I want to emphasize is even if you are not a Skyline student and you are from Kenyatta or CSM, you are absolutely welcome to reach out to us for support. We have a class called LSKL 803, which is a free 0-unit class. You register for it, and it kind of gets put onto your profile and you forget about it. It helps you access our online services, but it actually makes you a student, so you're able to sign in and get access to tutoring. If you are looking for support and help with kind of the process of writing your essays, we are able to help support that. And one thing I do want to mention is our tutors have been trained on how to approach and work with this scholarship and the questions, and we are able to help out virtual or in person during any of the times that the center here is open. So that's all I'll say on us. I hope to see you, and I hope to be able to help you out with your applications. Let's talk about the questions. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to do a show of hands on this, but one thing I want to mention is this is going to be similar to all scholarships that you've written. There's a lot of similarities. We'll talk briefly about that. And also keep in mind that the SMCCCD General Scholarship is due on February 9th. And because of that, I highly recommend everyone can apply. You can use the money you receive from that to help with your travels. So highly recommend applying for that. It's a pretty cool scholarship, and there's a lot of different places that you can be able to get that support from. So moving on, let's talk a little bit about what you're expected to write with the for the Gilman Scholarship itself. The big things that come up are you're expected to write 4 total essays of each about 500 words. I want to emphasize a couple quick things. 500 words, no more. And they are very clear about this, that essays that are more than 500 words may be deemed ineligible. So this is one of those ones where it's better to be at 498, 480-ish than over 500, because the way it seems is that anything over 500 is what they're saying. So be very, very, very intentional with how you write, and it's the very standard Times New Roman 12-point font, and it's either 500 words and no more than 1 page is on the website what the expectations are. So this is what I highly recommend keeping in mind when you're going through the process itself of talking about these. So next, these are the essay topics. We'll be getting into those in depth, but before we get into that, let's talk quickly about personal statements. I have some broader feedback that I want to kind of give y'all about kind of approaching the statements of purpose that you work on, and something to keep in mind and to think through when you are writing these is kind of introducing yourself with this idea of like, who am I? And then what are you wanting to do in your career? And then what do you specifically bring to the program? If you begin the writing of your statements of purpose, which you have to write 2 of these, if you begin by considering these perspectives, you're off to a good start. These are the kind of things that help guide this alongside the specific things, which I'll get to in a moment. This is a good frame of reference to begin your thought process and trying to think through. What is it about you that is specifically unique in this case? What are the things that you specifically bring to this program that no other person brings? Because everybody has something. We all have unique things about us, and it's about highlighting and building those. And what's nice is the work you do on this can be applied to a lot of different scholarships that you apply to. This kind of work, a lot of them have similar questions for these three that you want to focus on. So, but scholarship statements, these kind of personal statements, they're also tailored to the actual question itself. So you're going to be asked to write two statements of purpose at 500 words each that each kind of apply themselves in a different kind of way. So this one's unique because they're asked to write two. So you're able to spend more time on these, but you should still be going through and briefly talking about and incorporating the elements of this into those. Because if you notice, it directly relates. So for the statement of purpose one, it's asking that you make the case, and I've bolded the most important things to think about with this, is it asks that you make the case for kind of why your study abroad academic experience will contribute to your future academic and or career goals, and asking you to select why you chose the specific country. So one of the things that I want to highlight specifically about this one, and I tell this to anybody who's writing scholarship statements, is if you are still in the process of considering or trying to think of what your major is, what your career goal is, but you have a declared major, you have something along these lines, I highly recommend, for the sake of this kind of writing, being very specific about a potential if you're not decided. So I know a lot of people who are going into psychology, but they're not entirely sure what specifically they want to do in psychology. They're like, this subject really interests me, and I want to move forward with this and talk about it. But I'm not entirely sure what my specific career goals are. Like, do I want to go for my doctorate? Do I want to go for my master's? What I always say with this kind of writing is, for the sake of this scholarship, is to choose a very strong perspective. So even if it's not what you want to do at that moment, or you're still deciding, you could write from the perspective of becoming like a marriage and family therapist, or a psychiatric doctor who works at a hospital. There are different things we can do, but I always say with this one specifically, and this is basically all personal statements, to be very specific about academic and career goals. This is something really important across the board. The second statement of purpose is asking you to kind of describe what you specifically bring to this program that will help you effectively adapt and succeed in the host country. The thing that, if you notice, it specifically is asking you the word to have specific. So we should be talking about what are things specifically unique that you do. How many times can I say specific in one sentence? But the things that you bring to the table here. And this is the thing that is really important to have kind of set in place, that you are able to talk about what is the unique things that you have. These are the two statements of purpose that you're going to be having to write. The other half of this one is, what do you hope to bring abroad? So when we have these broad ones, we can kind of break up these two kind of philosophies and apply them to across both of these statements of purpose, as long as it's well constructed and thought together, which all the tutors are able to help out with. The second one you have to do is what's called the Gilman Scholarship, Scholars as Citizen Diplomats. I'm not going to read all of this one, but I'm going to summarize it for you. You are asked to talk about two specific things. The first one being, while studying or interning abroad, you have the opportunity to share what it means to be an American citizen. Second, do you have any plans or strategies for engaging your host community and showcasing what it means to be an American? And then any specific plans that involve America's 250th anniversary. So to put this very simply, this question is asking you to kind of think about what it means to be an American, and what is your specific relationship with being an American that comes from your identity, all the things. Every person in this Zoom room is different, and we all have a different relationship with what that means. And they're asking you to kind of consider that and think through what your personal relationship is, but then also, what does that mean when you are in a different community, when you're in a different host country, really focusing on and really trying to build up this idea of what does that mean for you? What does that idea of being an American, being American abroad mean to you? Because everybody has a different relationship with this. I've seen a lot of people, and I'm going to be that person who talks about AI here, but I've seen a lot of people bring AI written responses about this one, and none of them work because this is so fundamentally important to who you are. This is so related to each individual's experience that having that critical self-reflection is the most important thing here. That you've taken the time to think and that you think about what does it mean to be an American for you and what does it mean to be an American abroad. So this is the biggest thing that I want people to think about when they're writing. And I always recommend when you are drafting, start with this one. This is, I don't like ranking difficulty, but this is generally the hardest question for people to write because it requires the most kind of critical, deep thought. So I always recommend people really start with this one and really do that prep work to begin writing a well put together and well thought out response to these questions. The third one you got to do is called the contributions to U.S. communities and the follow-on service project proposal. So this one is pretty simple, all things considered. You are creating a very quick 500-word project proposal that is aimed at highlighting the critical role of study abroad and enhancing national competitiveness. Essentially, how are you going to advertise and tell people about study abroad and the Gilman Scholarship when you return? The biggest thing I can say about this one is be as specific, lay out specific points. And what's nice is on the website, they have these are taken directly from the website. They have very specific things. So one of the things they want you to think about is who is going to be your audience? Who are you trying to advertise to? And then what are the knowledge and skills that you hope to gain and then bring back and tell people about? The thing that I maintain with this one is really try to focus on building an actual proposal and being specific about what you want to do. That's the most important thing with this one that I always recommend people think about when going through the process of writing this one is put together a proposal, and you're always welcome to meet with any of the faculty and the advisors to be able to get that support and talk about the proposals that they've worked on. That's all I'll say about that one. 1 minute, 1 second of quick drafting suggestions is when you're beginning this project, don't worry about the page count and word limit. Just get all the ideas out there, get everything what you can done, and then we can edit it down. But don't let that 500 word limit stop you from starting. And second, and somehow that final word got deleted, but take some time to think and reflect and do what you need to get those ideas out there. A well thought out response early done is going to create a very solid and put together response. That's all I have for you for this one. It's just a very quick overview of the different questions that we have access to. And I know that we wanted to have some time for Q&A, so I'll pass it back to you, Zaid.
Great. Thank you very much, John. So now we'll open it up to Q&A. You can put your questions in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask your question live.
Could I ask a question? Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. I'm interested in the London Fall 2026. I also wanted to ask about the internships, or if while you're abroad, can you get a job in campus or work there? Or is the internship something separate that you will be able to apply later on when you return and take the internship?
That's a great question. So I'll give two answers to that.
Okay.
So during your study abroad, let's say you applied for London, you cannot work in the UK during your study abroad. That work authorization is not there for study abroad students. And then during an internship, our internships are unpaid internships. So we do not offer any paid internships. So that's why students apply for the Gilman Scholarship to offset those travel costs that come with and living costs abroad if you decide to apply for a global internship.
So following, I don't want to take everybody else's time.
Mhm.
So if I were to be interested in an internship as well, and also the study abroad, the internship is something I could, apply for and then do after returning from the fall 2026?
Yes, you can do that after. If we're offering them, we offer global internships in the summer
Okay.
primarily. So you could do it before you leave for London if you have at least 24 units completed already of college level coursework. Or you could do it after London in summer 2027.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Kumar.
Hello, I also have a question. I'm like I'm interested in it. I'm not seriously considering it yet. But my question basically is like, are the classes in person?
Yes, all study abroad classes are in person.
No, so okay, okay. And then like I guess there's like you guys have like schools or something like or buildings or something, I guess, locations that
Correct.
students go
Yes.
to.
So we
So,
work with study abroad providers who do all the logistics for us. So if you're applying to London, you will be at the AIFS Study Center. If you're applying to Peru, you'll be with EcoSwell, which is our program provider over there, and they arrange all the hotel accommodations. If students are staying in hotels, if it's a short-term program, they'll be in hotels. Yeah, so it's that, and the classrooms are also provided by the study abroad program
uh,
providers.
are you able to provide the location? Because I kind of want to like take a look at it, like see the area and like, you
You want to
know what I mean?
virtually look it up? Yes, if
Yeah.
you Google AIFS abroad London, you will see their
Oh,
location and
sorry,
facility.
for Japan.
For Japan, okay.
Mm.
For Japan, you can email us. We will send you those details, where exactly the study abroad is going to be. But it's going to be in Kyoto, for the most part, and AIFS does have a study center in Kyoto, Japan.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. I will go ahead and send you an email. Or, yeah, send you an email.
Yep,
Thank
study
you guys.
abroad at smccd.edu. So let's see. We'll take some questions from the chat. Let me just see. Can I apply for the Gilman Scholarship this year if I am planning on transferring in fall 2027? Yes, you can apply for the Gilman Scholarship this year. As long as you're eligible, that is receiving the federal Pell Grant and a US citizen, and you're an undergraduate student. Yeah. Another question. Hello, is the Japan summer program 2026 only exclusive for ethnographic film or interaction design? So those are the two classes that are offered for the Japan Summer Study Abroad program. So students can take one class in that program. So either ethnographic film or interaction design. Another question, is there a curfew instilled when, sorry, when being a study abroad student? That's a great question for some of our faculty if they want to take that.
I'll take a stab at that. So at least for the London program through AIFS in the fall, the initial application has you automatically defaulted to a homestay. So that means you're living with a British family. I would say you do need to have considerations about when you come home But you would discuss that with your family and you would respect what their policies are. Now, the student residences, you can level up and get a shared student residence. You'd have at least a roommate in that situation. So I think you'd have to be cognizant of other people. I don't think there would be a strict curfew, but you would obviously want to be safe. But especially if you're living with other people and a host family, you want to be considerate of other people in those shared spaces, is what I would say. Zed, what would you say?
No, that's a great answer to it. And yeah, I agree fully with that response. Thank you, Candice.
London is the best. Come to London.
Can I add something? You just want to be rested and awake for your classes too, right? That's the main purpose. So I'm not sure about Japan yet for a curfew, but you need to be well rested to engage.
Yes, thank you, Professor Marshall. So Professor Marshall is going to be teaching with Professor Hyla in Japan, ethnographic film.
Maybe
Sorry.
I'll chime in on that as well. Is that okay, Zed?
Yes.
Okay. I concur with what the previous professor just said about needing to be cognizant that this is an academic program and you need to be present in class and ready to go. And in the pre-program, we're also going to be at high altitude for our stay, and that's draining, and we're going to do some hiking and physical activities. So, yeah, you need to be in good shape.
Yeah. Thank you, Susan. All right. Mireya, you have your hand raised up. You can ask your
Hi.
question.
Yes, I have a quick question. So, if, like, for instance, for Japan program, we will know if we're accepted around mid-May, then for the visa purposes, is it possible for the schools to give like certification that this is for study abroad? Because they usually would not give visa for just students, because like the bank statement and stuff like that.
That's a great question, and it really depends on your application. So the Gilman Scholarship notifies you about the scholarship mid-May. That's when they notify students. If you need a visa for Japan, if you carry a US passport, a visa is not required for Japan study abroad. If you are a permanent resident or an international student, then you will require a visa depending on your passport to coming to Japan. And then we will work with AIFS in providing all those documents, which includes, an acceptance letter, a letter from the provider, AIFS in Japan, for students to get their visa for Japan. So
Copy.
we've
Thank
had
you.
it happen in the past with one or two students who were not US citizens and did not have that visa waiver for Japan.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And if there are any international students thinking of applying for study abroad, you are most welcome. You will need a travel signature on your I-20 from your designated school official at your college. So if you're at CSM, Cañada, or Skyline, you will have to go to the study abroad advisor on the Gilman application that we listed here. It'll be Kathy, Claire, or Manasi that you'll be going to get that travel signature.
Zed, if I can just, I'm not sure if any of the program managers are still in here. If I can just add to that, if we do have any international students applying, obviously they're not applying for the Gilman Scholarship, but might be applying to study abroad. If they are, they should just talk to their international office early, just have a conversation, make sure that they understand based on their nationality what that process might look like. And again, somewhere like Japan, I would assume and imagine this is not going to be a full student visa. You're going on a tourist visa because you're not enrolling locally. So the barrier usually isn't that high, but we just want to make sure that all your ducks are in a row. Most importantly, that you have a valid US visa to return to the US after the program. So, and I'm Suresh Quinn. I'm the executive director of International. I work with all the program managers. Um, just if you are an international student, you absolutely can study abroad. You just want to check and talk to your international student office early. Yep. And hi, Claire. Claire can answer more questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Saroj. Yes, that's really important if you are an international student considering study abroad. Okay, we have 2 minutes left, and
I also have one more question.
yes,
So I think from what I understood, you guys have like a classroom or a workshop, like where I can come in person and get help with like anything, like filling out forms, stuff like that.
correct. Yes, we will in February we'll have an in-person workshop on the Gilman Scholarship. It'll be at College of San Mateo, February 12th.
Okay. But the class that the other gentleman was mentioning, uh, the free zero credit class,
I can speak about that really quick.
yeah,
Do you want me to just re-explain what it is?
please. Thank you.
So at the Learning Center, one of the things that we do is because we have a lot of students who come in from a variety of colleges, and because being able to access tutoring at each college normally requires you to be enrolled in classes at that college, or else when you try to sign in, especially online, it won't recognize you. So we have this free zero unit class. It's partially for our own data tracking to see how many students we're serving and how many, like what areas that we can help out with students and stuff along those lines. But what its main benefit is it allows like students who are not enrolled in courses at Skyline to be able to access that tutoring, and it puts them enrolled in a course. And it has zero requirements. There's no expectations. You sign in and forget about it. You sign up and forget about it is what I refer to it as. But it's, for an example, what would give you the ability to like access the links to sign in online for an online tutoring session if you didn't want to come in person and stuff along those lines. That's the main purpose of it.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because I'm a student in Skyline, so
Oh yeah, then
I believe you guys said there is some resource or something at that building.
yep, building 5.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'll put my email in the chat here. If anyone has questions, they can reach out to me and I can answer however I can
Okay.
about
Thank
like
you.
accessing the tutoring for it.
All right, I'm just going down all the way to the chat to see. Where can I find more information about the internships? So about the internships, we will be hosting a info session next month just on global internships. So look out for that email. Since we have you on our list, we'll be sending that to all students who RSVP'd for this session. And our website is currently going to be updated very soon on all the 5 cities that will be offering internships this summer. So that should be coming soon. You're welcome.
I also want to add that we're going to be tabling tomorrow at CSM at the Career Fest. So if you're at CSM, make sure to stop by. We're going to be in Building 10, Bayview from 11 to 1:30. I'll be gladly inform you more about global internships, or you have any other question related to study abroad, maybe Gilman. I'll be there pretty much all day for any questions that you might have, you know. But I'll encourage you for today, you know, at least for today, apply to at least one program by tonight and save your spot. Yes, for
Okay.
all internships, you would have, yeah, you will be out abroad at a different country. So if we have Barcelona, Milan, Paris, Dublin, Ghana, you're gonna have to relocate for 8 weeks out there.
And can I get the link to apply to Japan, please?
And just to clarify, those programs do vary in length. So for example, the Ghana program is a hybrid internship where you spend 1 week in the US and then 3 weeks internationally. So some of them are a shorter commitment, and same with the faculty-led programs. You should look at the details on the website. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. There's all different types of programs to fit everyone's desires in going abroad. So I think there's something from everyone from 2 weeks to a full semester. I'd encourage you all to think about going abroad. It's a great opportunity. And if you have further questions, do stop by our wonderful office. Gerardo and Zed and our student assistants can answer those. There are no dumb questions. I'm sure everybody would love to help you out.
The exact date of the time of the.
I want to say thank you guys for answering all my questions. Of course, if I have any more, I'll message you guys. I'll let you guys know. So yeah, I'm just gonna step out of the call for now.
Great. Thank
Thank you
you
so
for
much.
coming, Danielle.
Oh yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Zed, as you're mentioning future events, do you want to mention the University of Otago transfer session with our New Zealand partner that will be here next week?
Yes. So for those of you who are still with us here, we will be having an in-person info session at College of San Mateo on February. Just make sure I throw the flyer in here so everyone can have that. But it's next week on February 3rd at College of San Mateo, and we'll be having Dr. Terry Higgins from University of Otago. It's our newest transfer abroad partnership. So if you're thinking of completing, 2 years at CSM Cañada or College of San Mateo or Skyline, and you want to transfer to New Zealand, this is a great opportunity. There are scholarships available for students to transfer and complete your degree in New Zealand.
Question. I'm not sure if anybody else does have question or not. I think you did mention something about getting your bachelor degree in business abroad. Did I get that right? And I just wanted to get some more information about that. I
Yes,
believe you mentioned.
that information is on our website
Okay.
through Wren School of Business.
Brand School of Business.
So
Okay.
if you're a business student and you've completed the 2 years of the associate's degree at one of our 3 colleges, you can transfer to France, to Wren School of Business, and get your bachelor's in business in 1 year.
Oh, so you're gonna get your bachelor done in 1 year if you transfer abroad?
Yes,
That's great.
through
Okay.
Wren School of Business.
Perfect. If I have questions, can I walk into the study abroad office in Skyline and maybe get help on my application or if I
Yes,
have
of
any
course.
questions? Okay,
Yes,
great. Thank you.
we're here. All right, with that, I will stop the recording and thank you all for attending today, and we look forward to helping you all with your Gilman Scholarship applications. And feel free to email studyabroad@smccd.edu if you have any questions. You can also walk in to our office. We are right here at Skyline College. You can also go to the international student offices at Cañada and College of San Mateo. If you have any questions there, the staff there, Mansi at College of San Mateo and Kathy at Cañada College, they also assist us in terms of study abroad questions. Claire is also available at Skyline. If you cannot come to Building 19, it's far away. Claire is centrally located in Building 4 in the International Student Office at Skyline College.
Are you guys going to have any help after Zoom to do the application, or just come on down to your office?
We do not have time after this Zoom, but definitely come by our office, or you can even schedule a Zoom appointment on our website. And we specifically have one for Gilman Scholarship Advising.
Where which website would that be on?
Let me
Is
put
that the
the
one in the
link.
chat?
I'll put the link in the chat if someone has not put it already.
Is that it?
Let me see.
Right.
Yep, that's it. Gerardo just put that in the chat.
What was I gonna say? Is there any way to save it? Like say if I want to start it, but I get stuck somewhere, is there a way to save it as well?
The Gilman application?
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes. Once you create your account, you can, your information is saved on there.
Oh, okay. So I don't
Yeah.
have to hit no save button. It's still gonna be there.
Yes, as long as you enter the information on the Gilman application, and there should be a save and continue button or save and exit on the Gilman application itself. But you have your account created, then your application is in.
Okay. So for the study abroad, it says color whatever this is. Just send a text over to this link here, right?
It
For
schedules the
For the
appointment
study
for you.
abroad scheduling.
Yes.
Okay. So the schedule from there. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm so sorry. I don't know if anyone asked this, or they probably did, but I just probably wasn't listening at that exact